Hello BookTube, welcome to Lizziefayelovesbooks. I'm Elizabeth and I'm so frustrated right now because I have tried to film this video like 4 times. I used to always wonder, why people always said that, why they have to film it over and over when I had my old camera and I would just make a mistake and I would just keep going and then I would edit it out. But I have not figured out how to edit from my phone yet, and so now I feel your pain and I'm definitely feeling it. So I'm going to have to cut this short. I was trying to do a little bit of a wrap up and talk about the premise of each book that I read this week, but now all my family's home and I have to cook dinner and I can't spend any more time on this. So I wanted to just do a quick Friday reads, and then at some point later on in the weekend, hopefully I will be able to maybe do a wrap up of this week and this month and this summer and tell you more about what I read. So at the end of at the end of last week, for my last Friday reads, I mentioned that I had just finished The Dark Prophecy by Rick Riordan, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about it, but now that I'm cutting things short, I guess I won't. But it was a lot of fun. Not as good as the first one, but I thought it was fun. I do really want to tell you that you should go out and get The Kitchen House. If you don't have a copy, get it from your library. Definitely read it. I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was great. It is a tough read, but really good. And then there was a Cozy Mystery Readathon over the weekend. It was hosted by the Readaholics Cozy Mystery group on Facebook, and I believe Abby Fabian is the leader of that group. And during that time, I finished Banana Cream Pie Murder by Joanne Fluke, and I also worked on Casket Cash by Janice J. Richardson, and I wanted to talk more about her book as well. It is a cozy mystery series that's set in a funeral home, and the author is a funeral director, so you really get a feel for what it's like to be a funeral director. You can tell she really knows her stuff. She has a memoir out called The Making of a Funeral Director, and all of those are on Amazon on ebook, so I would definitely recommend picking them up, and I will definitely be talking more about her series in the future. This one was called Casket Cash, and it's book 1 in the Spencer Funeral Home Niagara Cozy Mystery series. Then I also listened to Love Letters by Debbie Macomber. It's book 3 in the Rose Harbor series, narrated by Lorelei King. And this takes place in an inn, so you get the dynamic of a lot of different stories. Each book is different because you have different guests that come in and you get wrapped up in their stories. And then you have the continuous story of Jo Marie, the innkeeper, and her story is woven throughout the series. The next book is a novella, which I have on my Kindle. It's book 3.5, and I will be reading that hopefully tomorrow too, so that I can squeeze it in before the end of the month, and it is called Falling for Her. Then I also started a series that my daughter has been wanting me to read, and I'll tell you more about it later. The first one is Defy by Sarah B. Larson. I finished it yesterday, and I started book 2, which is Ignite, and I'm already halfway done with it. So if I can get to it by tomorrow, I want to go ahead and finish up the series by the end of the month, which is tomorrow. And the third book is called Endure. This is a series set in a kingdom where there's an evil king and a prince who wants to make things better, but our main character is a girl who's disguised herself as a boy, and she is part of the prince's guard. So that just kind of gives you an idea of what that's about. Then I also finished Patches of God Light by Jan Karon. Now, the series is by Jan Karon, but this book is actually a collection of quotes that was put together by Jan Karon, and it's meant to be the journal or diary of Father Timothy Kavanaugh, who's the main character in the Mitford books. He's an Episcopal priest, and so this is just a journal of what would probably be his some of his favorite quotes and scriptures. So I thought it was fantastic. I read a little along during the week. I'll read you one rather bookish quote that I thought was fun. When I get a little money, I buy books, and if any is left, I buy food and clothes. And that's from Erasmus. So even if you don't read the series, this is just a really nice inspirational book. Then the only other book that I'm currently reading, I've got about 130 pages left, of Cured. This is book 2 in the Stung duology by Bethany Wiggins, and I'll have to talk more about it later. And then The only other book I want to try to squeeze in by the end of the month, because it's banned book week, is The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian by Sherman Alexie. And I thought I was going to be able to get this on audio, but the library copy is checked out. So I've got the print book. It doesn't look like it would be very difficult to read or take especially long. So if I can get this squeezed in before the end of tomorrow, then that is my plan, and that'll make 20 books for the month. So that's what I'm currently reading and what I hope to read this weekend. And I will come back later with a TBR video for October. I still have a few series books that I want to try to get to at some point during the month of October, but mostly in the month of October I want to focus on some standalone books that are on my list of 17. So that's all I have for this video. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.